Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. Today's topic is going to be still working while you're sick. This is episode 72. So, once again, guys, I want to welcome you guys here tonight for this week's episode of Real Talk Tuesday. I apologize about the delay in getting the most recent story uploaded and published for you guys, and I'm gonna try my best to get the next one uploaded this week. I've been kind of running behind with having been sick and kind of not really been physically up for doing the extra stuff, but I'm working on it. We'll get back there. So just bear with me, please. But yeah. So, how many of you guys out there, guys and ladies, of course, how many of you guys out there have still got into work even though you probably should have taken the day off? I know there's times where I'm sick and I do take the day off because usually that's when when I had right when my daughter and my grandson first moved back. Actually, I think it was right when they moved back. Like literally, like the following week, I was sick with the flu, and thankfully on that occasion, I literally came down with it on my first day off. Like I woke up Sunday afternoon pretty much sick as a dog. Didn't realize it. I just thought, man, I just feel like crap. But I got up, I went out and got my adult beverages or whatever. Ran to the store to grab stuff. Wife asked me to pick up. And then, of course, she likes to volunteer me to take the grandson, which I don't mind doing, but he's kind of, if we can keep him holding onto the cart or staying with you, that's not so bad, but he's a toddler, so he likes to, run off or whatever. It'll be like, baby boy, you need to stay with me. Well, I'm just over here playing. Okay, I got that, but you gotta stay with me. Like, you cannot run off by yourself. Oh, but I want to run. I understand that. It's an interesting thing with the grandson, oh, but what you're saying no about that's just what I want to. Or like last night it was he wanted. I'm trying to remember what exactly he was going back and forth with my daughter. He's like, Mama, can I have cake? And she's like, we don't have cake. Oh, but I want some. Well, that's nice, but we don't have any. Oh, but I want some cake. We went back and forth like this for a while until I'm not one to verbally yell, especially with the kids or the grandkid. I'm usually the one that'll try to keep my cool as long as possible. But after a while, it might get to a point where I then finally yell, or raise my voice, or whatever. And it got to that point where Alex, he'd gone in the kitchen basically like looking for cake or whatever. Even though then my daughter's like, "Baby boy, get back in here. If I can't see you, you're not supposed to be there." And he's, "But Mama, I want cake." And I finally was like, "Alex, you need to knock it off." Okay. I was like, just because you want something doesn't mean that you're gonna get it. Like, we may not have it. And so if Mama's telling you no, you need to listen. Like, climb up on Mama, give her hugs, and tell her you're sorry. I was like, when he's climbing up on her, and I'm like, when Mama's saying something, Mama's the boss. Like, you need to listen to her. And of course, that's when Allie was like talking to him, like, like what Papa says. Like, if I'm telling you that we don't have anything, you need to just be like, okay, and listen. Okay. It's like you may want it, but it's not that we don't want to give it to you. It's just that we don't have any of that. So it's not you saying all but I want it is not going to make it happen. But thankfully, like I didn't, I kept it somewhat under control. Like I raised my voice a little bit with him, but it wasn't like screaming at him. It was like, "Alex, you need to listen to Mom. You need to quit talking back." Okay. I was like, "Yeah, you may want cake, but Mom was telling you why you can't have any cake right now. And so you saying that you want cake isn't gonna make it happen. So please stop. Please listen, okay? Okay." And then we give hugs, like, "I love you, baby boy. Love you too." Yeah. He's a cool little kid, So, so I was sick all last week, and then hopefully if you had, y'all caught the Storytime Friday episode that finally got posted, I think on Sunday, with the new intro. I'm changing things up a little bit, trying to make the episode a little more upbeat, a little more entertaining. So I'm making a new intro for both of the completely unique intros, actually, not the same one for both, but unique intro for Real Talk Tuesday, which you'll hear when this episode goes live, and a new intro for Storytime Friday. So hope you guys like them. If you guys like what you hear, you find value in the podcast, by all means, continue to share with your friends, tell people about it. If you haven't already, hit the follow and subscribe button, so that way you guys are always alerted whenever I do a new episode. And of course, anybody that wants to support the show, feel free to go to blodgetshow.com/support, and you can choose an option, a one-time donation option, or a monthly for as low as $1 per month. Eventually, like I've been saying for a while, I will be putting little perks in there for people who support the show, like bonus episodes, merch. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but it's one of those things that like I can only do so much at the moment, and most of that is tied to like the finances and stuff. And so I will get stuff like that set up whenever I'm able to. That way we can keep moving forward. You know what I always say. So working while you're sick. I'm sure a lot of you out there can kind of relate. It's one of those things that's how I've always been. Like, if I can be upright, even if I feel like crap, if I can be upright and moving around, then usually I'm going to work. Now, obviously, that might depend on like if I have let's say like if I had COVID or something, if I would have tested positive for COVID, obviously then technically right now I'd probably still work because of the fact that it's just me in the truck. It's not like I'm working in a public place with a bunch of people. I would just be cautious, possibly. Depends. It would also depend on how bad I felt. Like if I couldn't even move, barely breathe, then I probably would call out. But when I had the flu, when Allie and Alex first moved back, thankfully that I was like for my 2 days off, I was asleep for probably about a day and a half of it. I got up a little bit here and there on Sunday, but otherwise I went back to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. I didn't get up until noon the next day. I was up probably till like 4:30. Then my wife went up to go take a nap, so I went up with her. Set my alarm for about 3 hours, and we got up about 7:30, and I was up for probably because I was trying to stay up to not go to bed too early because of the fact that I knew I had to go back to work on Tuesday. So I was doing my best to try to rest and recover and whatever, and be ready to go back to work on Tuesday, which by Tuesday afternoon when I was getting ready to go to work, I felt a lot better. So yeah, I'm out here today going, man, it is really windy today. And of course I'm behind a truck that doesn't know how to pass people because it's been hanging out beside a couple of cars, and so I'm slowly gonna make my way past him. Say, well, dude, I don't know why you're sitting over in the left lane for the last 10 minutes. It happens, though. It happens. But literally, so yeah, I got that flu bug, and then a month later, we all came down with stomach virus. And that one didn't hit me quite as hard. It hit me pretty bad, not nauseous-wise, nausea-wise. So literally my when I came down with it, I was halfway to my swap out here on Interstate 24, and I was halfway to Farina, and of course at that point, I don't know if you guys probably, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. When you start coming down with a stomach bug or whatever, or you just get something that made you sick to your stomach, then a lot of times you'll start to notice little things first, you'll feel like your mouth salivating, mouth watering a little too much. Or for me, sometimes I'll still be snacking and drinking water and having a few items, and I'll feel like I'm not digesting it. I'll feel like as I've been drinking water, that instead of it going through me, that it'll just stay in my stomach, and so any bump, I'll feel the liquid sloshing around in my stomach, which doesn't help how you feel either. So I was noticing that, I'm like, crap, I'm getting sick. But I got up to Farina, I heated up my food, forced myself to eat, and was sipping water the entire way back. And then I got back and managed to get myself to bed. Woke up the next day, feel a little bit better, but still nauseous as hell, kind of. And I texted my boss, and basically was like, hey, do you have anybody that can run Farina tonight? Because everybody came down with a stomach bug. I'm pretty bad off right now. And he's like, yeah, I do. I'll give him a call. I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, get better. See you guys tomorrow. But and then after that, it's every month or so, every couple weeks to a month, with Salix going to daycare and coming back home or whatever, we've all managed to get sick a couple times since. So it kind of sucks. So I was sick all last week, and I was taking Robitussin with the honey flavor added. Trying to basically figure I was taking that because I was having that cough that was so bad that your abs would start to hurt really bad. And then if you throw in sneezes on top of that, ooh man, that sucked. But throwing it, having those, I was, coughing so bad, not really clearing anything out. It was I knew that there's stuff in there. I knew that I was congested, but for some reason, anytime I coughed, it was still a dry cough. And I didn't seem to get rid of anything. And for whatever reason, I didn't think about it until towards the end of the week. But then I went ahead and, I mentioned to the wife, I said, I think I need to get some Mucinex as well, because I'm taking, Robitussin. And she goes, yeah, Mucinex is better. I'm like, yeah, well, neither, Mucinex or Robitussin by itself apparently doesn't really do the trick for me if I'm really congested. I need to take a both. Take Mucinex during the day, every 12 hours or whatever, and taking Robitussin before I go to sleep to help me not cough and wake myself up while I'm trying to sleep. Because when you're sleeping, typically your body is in recovery mode at that point. So if you can get some good rest when you're sick, then you're gonna feel an improvement. So, and then it's funny, at my Burro Rico, which I think I might have told you guys about on the bonus episode on Friday, which that's what I kind of figure if I run into issues this week, because I'm gonna try to, so I'm a little bit behind at the moment, but if I I can't get the story time posted on Friday, then I'll probably just do a bonus episode like I did last week. But I will be working on getting back on track, so we will definitely be getting back to the Real Talk on Tuesday and story time on Friday. It's just a matter of me trying to. I mean, I'm mostly recovered. I'm at the point in the cold now where I've been taking Mucinex during the day every 12 hours, taking Robitussin before I go to sleep, and then so like yesterday I was clearing out a little bit. Today I managed to clear out a decent amount more. Like, it's coming out easier. Whenever you cough, you just basically spit it out. Yeah, it's not too pleasant, but hey, when you have a cold, that's basically what you gotta do. Blow your nose, cough up the crap to get it out of your lungs or whatever. Get it out of your chest and spit it out and get rid of it. Because the quicker you can get rid of that mucus and whatnot, the quicker you'll feel a lot better. So, and sadly, the colds I've been getting hit with lately haven't even been the mild, I'm sick for a couple days. People already get runny nose for a few days, maybe some congestion a little bit. This is like, I was sick for like 2 weeks. Like, first week is basically me with such a bad cough that like my chest hurts, and then the second week you're basically like feeling better, but then coughing up the remaining crap that's in there, So doing what I gotta do, but at one point I was talking about Puerto Rico last week, and I was telling him, like, man, this really sucks, like, constantly getting sick because when Alex go to daycare or whatever, and he's like, bro, like, you should get some vitamin C, like 1,000 milligram or whatever. Like, don't get the 50 or 60 milligram one, get the 1,000 milligram tablets or 500 milligram tablets or whatever, and take 2 of them. I was like, all right. He goes, that'll help you not get sick. And I mentioned to my wife, and of course she sent me some Google articles basically saying how you don't want to take too much vitamin C because that could have other side effects like diarrhea and nausea and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I mean, I've heard in the past that you can take at least 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and that won't negatively affect you, and then it will actually help boost your immune system and whatnot. But then I thought, well, since I trust my wife and I trust Rico, I mean, I don't think, I think they're both giving me solid advice. I reached out to my doctor. I was like, well, they say, if you have any medical questions, reach out to your doctor. I was like, all right, so I did. Basically said, hey, doc, so what's going on? Like, the whole family keeps getting sick because with the grandson in daycare. I'm trying to see if there's a way to try to be able to fight it, be a little, less likely to get sick. And I've been told by my bro Rico that I should take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, but my wife says, you should just take like the 50 or 60 milligrams. That I thought I'd reach out to him, and basically the response I got back from him, it wasn't really very helpful. Well, I mean, there's no, or good afternoon, Mr. Blodgett. Yeah, there's really no evidence that supports that taking certain supplements will actually help you get sick less often. He goes, basically, what I would recommend is just a healthy diet and exercise, and as far as like that'll give you the best chances for trying to resist these cold viruses and whatever going around. And I'm thinking, I already eat pretty, aside from like my drinking days on the weekends. I already try to be as healthy as I can, after being diagnosed as a diabetic. I'm like, I'm managing my blood sugar. I'm trying to eat somewhat healthy as much as possible. Like, my meals for that I meal prep for the week literally are stuffed chicken breasts, quinoa, and French style green beans, because I've got a big appetite. So I figured, I don't want to just give myself a little small meal to be pretty hungry on the way back to Nashville. So I try to at least have a meal set up that I'm going to be somewhat satisfied with, but it's still fairly healthy. I kind of thought I didn't reply back to the doctor, but I was like, well, I'm already doing that. Like, maybe not exercise. Like, I don't really get out there and do a lot of physical exercise because I'm, driving, doing what I gotta do. So But you know, and yet even with eating healthy and trying to get enough sleep, and you know, I get like some exercise. Like I get out walking around, obviously doing my get loaded and whatnot. Still getting sick. So I was like, obviously that by itself isn't gonna prevent you from getting sick if you're exposed to stuff. That's not gonna really boost your immune system. That's just gonna make you like, all right, cool, you're eating healthy, whatever. So when I was at the store, like Sunday, I think. Yeah, I think it was at the store on Sunday. I went ahead and I was getting some Robitussin, and I didn't have to get my chicken breasts and stuff because my wife had already grocery shopped and picked up, basically got the thing, got everything pretty much stocked, which is kind of cool, you know. So I got the Robitussin, and then I happened to pass by the little supplement aisle, and it was like vitamin C and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, so I was checking it out, and then I passed by the emergency, you know, where it has like a couple different vitamins and stuff in there, and it has 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Basically, it's little packets of this little orange tasting powder that you dissolve in water like once a day, which is the one thing that like I realized when I got to the truck and was getting ready to go. I was like, shit, I didn't do the emergency stuff today. This means I'll do it tomorrow. No big, you know. But the last 2 nights I did it, you know, because I figured, hey, if it helps, you know, where even with viruses coming into the house, if it helps me to try to resist getting sick, then I'll do it every day, you know. It was interesting because getting a box of those, it was like 30 packs in the box for like $18. Or there were bottles that had just vitamin C that had like 17 or something, or like 18 or whatever tablets for like $18. And I was like, well, it makes more sense for me to get the emergency box because it's 30 packs for almost $20. So it's almost like basically like a month worth of stuff for about $20. So I went ahead and grabbed that or whatever. But then, you know, doing better health-wise, still out here hacking up a lung and whatnot, you know, clearing stuff out. And it's funny because, like, they move trucks around a little bit. Like, they expect us to, when we move our truck, to go ahead and park our personal vehicle where the truck's parked, try to reserve that space. So at one point, you know, the other day, you know, before my truck came out of the shop, I was using a truck that this one guy named like Bingham or whatever. He was parked there, so he moved his car. I put my Ram in that space, and then he moved the truck that was beside me, and he didn't put his car in that space. And so when I came back after I got off that night, I parked the truck I was using, parked it at a steep angle to kind of block both the spaces. So he, you know, I probably did that for about 2 nights, and then my truck was back, and I guess the boss's assistant, his truck was in the shop, I guess, so I was parked in his space, and then when I came back today, his truck was parked back where my truck was. My truck is moved out halfway down the lane. I'm like, you really? And then so I moved one of the other trucks that was parked where I normally park. I moved one of those down, and then basically parked my Ram where I normally park. You know, parked it, you know, right beside that guy's truck. And I'm like, really? Like you moved my truck, so you couldn't move one of the other trucks and then shift my truck over and then park your truck where you want to park it? Nah, he just parked me somewhere else. Just like I found out that during these last 2 weeks, the last 2 paychecks, where I made like half of what I normally make, and I was being told, oh yeah, we don't have any, we didn't get any freight from Atlanta. But then I found out from the team from Minnesota, they're like, oh no, we were running, like we were meeting up with Big John. I'm like, Big John? Thinking like, well, couldn't be my boss's assistant. And I was like, he said, yeah, I think it was your company. He said his name was Big John, like big broad shoulders, whatever. I said bald head, and like a big gray beard. And he goes, "Yep, that's him." I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I was like, 'cause I was doing other shit, getting screwed financially, and being told that, oh, we just don't have any freight from Atlanta. That's why it's not running. Or like it was running, but for some reason he had my load being run by someone else to give them miles, while I was basically not getting shit. And I'm like, you hired me for this route. You know, like this is why. Literally, when you told me what routes were available when I was talking to you, when I was with my previous employer, and you told me about the Frida run and how it's butthead swap and blah blah blah. And I'm like, butthead swap? It's kind of stupid. What's up with that? Oh, I don't know. That's what FedEx calls them. Okay. So I was like, huh. But then finding out that another guy was on my run, so he was making money, but I wasn't, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm supposed to be on this run, so that doesn't make sense. So I already have a thought that if I start doing other runs and still hearing from the team like, yeah, we're here, where are you guys at? I'm like, well, I'm not on that run. I'm told we're not running. So basically, if it happens again, where I feel like I'm being put on other stuff that's not really paying very well, and someone else is on my run, then I'll figure at that point I'll go ahead and email up the chain above his head or whatever, and express concern and be like, I was hired for this run, and I understand maybe you try to shift miles around and try to give people miles, but that's my run. Like, I was hired for that run, and it doesn't make sense for me to have to give it up for 2 weeks and someone else can actually make money where, like, obviously, yeah, I want him to help me out too. If like my run doesn't run, I want him to find stuff for me because that's what his job is. But if my run is running though, I shouldn't have to give it up just so that someone else can make money while I then get screwed, So definitely, and I wrote a little bit about it, about the same topic or whatever, in the blog, tntruckerchris.wordpress.com if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, so back to the working while you're sick. One of the things that's just how I am. Like if I can be upright and stuff, and I can move, and I'm gonna be out here working. I'm gonna be doing what I gotta do. Mainly because I don't want to take the hit financially if I call out. And thankfully, like I said, I don't work with anybody out here. It's just me in the truck, so it's like I can literally be out here. And there's been days where I've been sick enough to where I was like, oh man, I feel like shit. But I had the energy level enough to be up and about. So I was out here doing it. Then you just gotta that's where I will utilize Afrin nasal spray and fever reducers, pain meds, whatever, and taking things like Mucinex to try to help me, clear out any crap that I have in my chest or whatever. But aside from that, got bills to pay, mouths to feed, gotta keep that income rolling in, so, but anyway, like I said earlier, I'm sure a lot of you can kind of relate to that, because we all, and I'm sure that there's people that I know that actually they'll get the smallest cold and they'll automatically call out of work. It's like, oh, I'm sick, I can't come in. There you go. But then they'll be the first ones complaining that they don't have any money either, because it's like, oh my god, I only need like $200 or something. Yeah, because you called out 4 times. I was like, if you want money, you can't call out. You gotta keep working, It ain't like this. The results aren't gonna happen if we're not taking action and working on it. It's like I know that this podcast. I know that it's not gonna get where I want it to go if I only do an episode every couple weeks or whatever. If I'm not consistently posting on the days I'm saying I'm posting. I know right now I'm kind of running into a little bit of a slope because of being sick, as far as getting especially the story time episode posted. But I know that I'm gonna get back to it again. Get back on track or whatever. It's just a matter of I'm just, gotta do it. And part of why I've struggled to do it this past week and a half or whatever is mainly because of just like I might have the energy level even with being sick to be upright and on my feet, but when you're sick, it kind of makes it a little bit of a challenge to try to be creative and come up with a story. That's kind of where the issue I'm running into is, you know, when you're sick, you kind of got that brain fog going on, so it's like I'll stare at the screen and go, I don't even know where I want to start. But it will get done. It will get done. So there's a couple different possibilities that I might do. Either I would do a bonus episode on Friday if I don't have a story time, whatever. Which I might do that anyway, no matter which way I go. You know, if I can't get story time posted on time or whatever. But then I'll either restart up, get back to normal the following week, or if I can, I'll try to write 2 stories, and finish the current one, and write a new one, and have give you guys basically an extra story episode on the same day, so you'd have 2 Storytime Friday episodes post on Friday. I don't know if I'm going to go that route yet, but I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do, and if I can pull it off, I would do it, you know, so we'll definitely see what happens. But that's the plan right now. Hopefully I can get something posted this Friday, but there would definitely be something posted by the following Friday. Possibly 2 story episodes, if I can pull it off. So it's a matter of, you know, my way of trying to apologize for you know, being a little bit of a slacker because due to medical reasons, but, you know. So anyway, aside from that, you know, I think I'll let you guys go with that. Keep this episode somewhat shorter, you know. But hope you guys enjoy the new intros for both Storytime Fridays and Real Talk Tuesdays. Moving forward and try to keep things happening. But on that note, you know what I always say, keep being positive, keep believing. Believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. And, well, the usual stuff, you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. But also, anybody out there that, if anybody's out there that listens to my show and actually needs just, if you need somebody to go back and forth with you, you know, because let's say you're dealing with some stuff, whatever, then feel free to drop me an email and I'll reach back. You know, I'll reach back out to you. You know, we can go back and forth, whatever. But drop me an email if you have any suggestions, any story ideas, any feedback on the stories, and otherwise, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, there's multiple ways to support the podcast. You can either subscribe, like, and follow, and share with your friends. So that way, the podcast will grow that way. But also, if you're in the position to financially help out, go to blodgettshow.com/support. Much appreciated. Thank you in advance. Oh crap! When you get hit with a gust of wind that actually hits you so hard that I almost felt like I got hit with something solid. I was like, whoa! I felt the truck kind of rock a minute. I'm like, ooh, good thing I'm, you know, got a firm grip on the wheel. It's like, wow. But I guess on my phone, on the weather part of where you see the weather on the main screen of your phone, it does say like possible tornado. So I was like, oh great, all right. So anyway, y'all, appreciate you being here, and I look forward to talking to you guys Friday. Hopefully with a Storytime Friday episode, but in worst case, if I can't pull that off this week, because I'm still not 100%. You know, I'm better, but I'm still fighting off this cold or whatever it is. But if worst case, I'll give you guys another bonus episode on Friday, and then try to get work on trying to get the next, get back on track for the Storytime Friday episodes. So, but Anyway, I will talk to you guys in episode, I believe it's going to be 73. Have a good one.